I saw myself on a missing poster. I'm convinced my family replaced me. The gas station fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. I was grabbing energy drinks for the night shift when I saw it, taped to the window near the lottery tickets. A missing child poster. The face staring back was mine. Not similar. Mine. Same crooked front tooth, same birthmark above my left eyebrow, same scar on my chin from when I fell off my bike at 6, except the name underneath read, Ethan Vulkoff, missing since 2011. I'm Nathan Reeves, or I thought I was. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone. Took a photo. The cashier asked if I was okay. I mumbled something about low blood sugar. Paid. Left. Sat in my car for 20 minutes staring at that photo. The kid was 7 in the picture. I'm 23 now. Math didn't work, but faces don't lie. That was me. Every detail matched. The way my left ear stuck out slightly more than my right. The small mole under my nose. Things I'd seen in mirrors my whole life staring back from a missing poster dated 12 years ago. I called my mom. Straight to voicemail. Called my dad. Same thing. Called my older sister Ashley. She picked up on the first ring. What's up, Nathan? Where were you born? She laughed. What kind of question is that? Just answer. St. Mary's Hospital. Why? What year? 2001. Nathan, what's going on? I hung up. Drove home to my apartment. Pulled out my birth certificate from the filing cabinet. St. Mary's Hospital. March 15th, 2001. Parents listed as David and Jennifer Reeves. Everything looked official. Raised seal, county stamp. But I'd seen that face. My face. Different name, different year, different family. I Googled Ethan Vulkoff. News articles popped up immediately. 7-year-old boy disappeared from his backyard in Ann Arbor, Michigan in July 2011. Massive search. Amber Alert. FBI involvement. No leads. Case went cold within 6 months. Parents still searching 12 years later with a Facebook group that had over 8,000 members. There was a photo of them. Sergei and Nadia Vulkoff. I stared at Nadia's face. Something familiar in her eyes. Her nose, the shape of her mouth. Something that made my chest tight and my breathing shallow. I pulled up photos of my own mom, side by side on my laptop screen. They didn't look alike. Different hair color. Different face shape. But that feeling wouldn't leave. Something deeper than appearance. Something visceral. I spent the next 3 hours down a rabbit hole. Found the Facebook group dedicated to finding Ethan. Hundreds of posts. Regular updates from the Vulkoffs. Photos of age-progressed images showing what Ethan might look like now. The most recent one from 6 months ago made my stomach drop. I screenshotted it. Opened my camera roll. Found a selfie from last week. Put them side by side. My roommate Trevor walked in carrying pizza. Saw me staring at the screen. Dude, you look like you've seen a ghost. He leaned closer. His pizza box hit the floor. Wait, why do you have 2 pictures of yourself? That's not me. He squinted. Leaned even closer. Yes, it is. Same nose, same jaw, same weird ear thing you have. What the hell, Nathan? I zoomed in on the age-progressed image. There it was. The slightly protruding left ear I'd always been self-conscious about. The exact shape of my eyebrows. The small indent in my chin. Trevor sat down slowly. His face had gone pale. This is fucked up. Who's the other guy? Ethan Vulkoff. Missing since 2011. Trevor was quiet for a long moment. You think you're him? I don't know what I think. We need to call someone. Police, FBI, someone. I shook my head. Not yet. I need to figure this out first. Figure what out? You either are or you aren't. But if I am, then my entire life is a lie. My parents kidnapped me. My sister isn't my sister. Everything I remember is fake or planted or manufactured. Trevor didn't argue, just sat there while I spiraled. Finally, he said, "Where did you live when you were 7? I closed my eyes. Tried to remember. Flashes of a blue house. A tire swing in a big backyard. A dog named Copper. Red collar. Where was that house? Michigan. We lived in Michigan. I pulled up the Vulkoff case details. Ethan disappeared from his home in Ann Arbor, Michigan. My throat closed up. My hands went numb. Trevor was reading over my shoulder. He cursed softly. I called my dad again. This time he answered. Hey, sport. What's up? Where did we live when I was little? Your mom and I were in Michigan until you were 8. Then we moved to Ohio for my job. Why? Dad got a job transfer. Worked at an auto plant in Cleveland. You don't remember? Bits and pieces. I'm trying to piece together some childhood stuff. Therapy, homework. My dad was quiet for a moment. You seeing someone? Yeah. Anxiety stuff. Nothing major. That's good, son. Your mom and I worry about you sometimes. Living alone in that apartment, working nights. It's not healthy. I felt sick lying but kept going. Do you have any photos from back then? I lost a bunch when my hard drive crashed. Want to make a memory book? Sure. I'll have your mom dig some out. Send them over tomorrow. Thanks, Dad. Nathan? Yeah? We love you. Know that, right? Whatever you're going through, we're here for you. I know. Love you too. I hung up, feeling like I might vomit. Trevor was watching me carefully. What now? Now I wait. See what photos they send. See if they match my memories or if they're manufactured bullshit. How can you tell? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. That night I couldn't sleep. Kept pulling up articles about Ethan Vulkoff, reading witness statements, timeline of the disappearance. Nadia had been inside making lunch, checked on Ethan every few minutes through the kitchen window. At 1:15 she looked out, and he was playing with toy trucks in the sandbox. At 1:20 she looked again, and he was gone. Gate was still latched. Fence was 6 feet tall. No way a 7-year-old could climb it alone. No signs of forced entry. No signs of struggle. He vanished. Police suspected parental involvement initially. They always do. But Nadia and Sergei had solid alibis. Were cleared within 48 hours. Investigation shifted to stranger abduction. Neighborhood canvass. Sex offender registry checks. FBI brought in cadaver dogs. Nothing. No leads. No witnesses. No Ethan. The case went cold within 6 months. Detectives moved on to other cases with actual evidence. But Nadia never moved on. Her Facebook posts were daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Photos of Ethan as a baby, Ethan learning to walk, Ethan's artwork from preschool, Ethan's favorite foods. Every memory documented and shared like if she posted enough, the universe would give him back. The photos arrived at 6 a.m. Email from Mom with the subject line, "Memory Lane, love you, sweetie." 37 attachments. I opened them with shaking hands. Me as a baby in a blue hospital blanket. Me learning to walk holding my dad's hands. Me at various birthday parties with cakes and candles and balloons. Me with a golden retriever that must have been copper. Me in front of a blue house with white shutters. Everything looked real. Felt real. But photos can be faked, especially old ones before everything was digital. Especially by people with 12 years to prepare. I zoomed in on the background of several photos, looking for inconsistencies, wrong shadows, mismatched lighting, anything that proved digital manipulation. Nothing obvious. But I'm not a forensics expert. Trevor woke up and shuffled into the living room. Found me still at my laptop surrounded by energy drink cans. "You been up all night?" "Couldn't sleep." He looked at the photos on screen. "Those from your parents?" "Yeah. They look real. They would if they were good at this." Trevor grabbed his laptop. Started searching. Found a guy online within 20 minutes. Retired FBI forensic analyst. Ran a private consulting business out of Florida. $300 for a preliminary photo analysis. I sent him 5 of the most important photos. The ones that would prove my existence as Nathan Reeves from birth to age 7. He replied within 2 hours. Would need the original files to be completely certain, but preliminary review shows no obvious signs of digital manipulation. Color degradation and grain patterns consistent with photographs from the early 2000s. Metadata shows appropriate dates. These appear genuine. Dead end. Trevor wasn't convinced. Metadata can be faked. Anyone with decent software can backdate files. So, what do I do? Confront them? Walk up to my parents and ask if they kidnapped me? You need proof first. Real proof that can't be explained away. What kind of proof? Trevor thought for a moment. DNA. That's the only thing that can't be faked or explained away. Blood doesn't lie. Where am I supposed to get their DNA without them knowing? You still have that key to their house? I did. For emergencies. They lived in Westfield, 40 minutes away in the suburbs. Quiet neighborhood, 3-bedroom ranch. I hadn't visited in 3 weeks because of my work schedule. My dad's birthday was coming up next week. Good excuse to stop by. But stealing DNA felt insane. Felt like crossing a line I couldn't uncross. What if I was wrong? What if this was all coincidence and paranoia, and I destroyed my relationship with my family over a missing poster that just happened to look like me? Trevor saw me hesitating. Look, man, if you're really Nathan Reeves, then testing will prove it, and you can relax. If you're Ethan Vulkoff, then you need to know. You deserve to know. Either way, you get answers, and this stops eating you alive. He was right. I needed answers. Sunday afternoon, I drove to my parents' house. Brought a birthday present for my dad, even though his birthday wasn't until next week. Bourbon he liked. Acted normal. Smiled. Hugged my mom, who smelled like vanilla and coffee like always. Joked with Ashley, who was visiting with her husband Derek. They had a 2-year-old daughter named Sophie, who called me Uncle Nate. Was she even my real niece? We had dinner. Pot roast with carrots and potatoes. My mom's specialty. My favorite meal since I was a kid. Except, was it really my favorite, or had they just told me it was? How much of my personality was actually mine versus implanted? Mom asked about work. I lied and said it was fine. Truth was, I'd called in sick the past 2 nights. Kept seeing that poster. That face. Those names. After dinner, I excused myself to use the bathroom. Went upstairs instead. Stood in the hallway for a moment, listening to voices downstairs. Laughter. Normal family sounds. Then I slipped into my parents' bedroom. Heart pounding, hands shaking. Grabbed my dad's hairbrush from the bathroom counter. Pulled several strands of dark hair that were definitely his. Bagged them in a Ziploc I'd hidden in my pocket. Then my mom's brush. More hair. Brown with some gray. Another bag. Felt like a criminal. Like I was violating them. But I needed to know. Footsteps on the stairs. I froze. Shoved the bags deep in my pocket. Ashley appeared in the hallway. "What are you doing up here?" Bathroom downstairs was occupied. She looked at me. Weird. The one down here was open. I heard the shower running earlier. Just felt like using this one. Old habits. She stared at me for a long moment. "You okay, Nathan? You've been acting weird lately." "I'm fine. Just work stress." She didn't believe me. I could see it in her face. But she let it go. Come on. Sophie wants you to read her a story before we leave. We went back downstairs. I read Sophie 3 books about talking animals. She fell asleep in my lap. Ashley and Derek left around 8. I stayed another hour, helped my mom load the dishwasher, watched part of a movie with my dad, left with hugs and promises to visit more often. My mom held on extra long, studying my face like she was memorizing it. Do you need money, sweetie? Your dad and I can help if things are tight. I'm good, Mom. Really? Okay, just know we're always here. Whatever you need. I drove home feeling like the worst person alive. Went straight to a DNA testing lab Monday morning. The kind that does paternity tests and sibling tests and ancestry analysis. Paid extra for expedited processing. 3-day turnaround instead of 2 weeks. The technician was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes. She explained I needed to provide my own sample too. Swabbed the inside of my cheek. Handed over my parents' hair samples. She asked if I had concerns about paternity. I said yes. Didn't elaborate. She nodded sympathetically and said results would be emailed confidentially. I spent the next 72 hours in absolute hell. Couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't focus on anything. Called in sick to work again. My manager was starting to ask questions. Trevor tried to distract me with movies and video games and pizza. Nothing worked. I was trapped in my own head, running through scenarios endlessly. If I was Nathan, then I'd hurt my family for nothing. Violated their privacy, stolen their DNA, destroyed trust over paranoia. If I was Ethan, then my family had hurt me in ways I couldn't even comprehend. Stolen my identity, my childhood, my real family, everything. Thursday afternoon, the email arrived. I was at home, staring at my laptop, refreshing my inbox every 30 seconds. Subject line, DNA test results available. Case, A73829. My hands shook so badly, I could barely click the mouse. Login credentials for a secure portal. Entered them. The results loaded slowly, page by page, legal disclaimers, testing methodology. Finally, the actual results. Probability of paternity between Nathan Reeves and David Reeves, 0.0%. Excluded as biological father. Probability of maternity between Nathan Reeves and Jennifer Reeves, 0.0%. Excluded as biological mother. The room tilted, my vision blurred. I couldn't breathe. Not my parents, not my blood, not related at all. Everything was a lie. My phone rang. Trevor. I didn't answer. He texted. You okay? Got the results? I replied. Not their son. He called immediately. I answered this time. Where are you? Home. Stay there. I'm coming over. Don't do anything stupid. He arrived 15 minutes later, let himself in with his key, found me sitting on the floor in my living room, just sitting there, staring at nothing. He sat down next to me. What are you thinking? I'm thinking I need to find the Vulkoffs. I need to know if I'm really Ethan. Trevor pulled up his phone, found the Facebook group. Nadia Vulkoff's profile was public. She posted every single day, sometimes multiple times. Her latest post was from that morning, 12 years and 4 months today. Still searching, still hoping, still believing our Ethan is out there somewhere. If you see him, please call. Any information helps. Our Find Ethan Vulkoff. I stared at her profile photo. That familiar feeling hit again, stronger this time, like recognition buried deep in my subconscious. Trevor was watching me. You should message her. What do I say? The truth, that you might be her son. I opened a new message, stared at the blank screen. How do you tell a stranger you might be their dead son? Their missing son? Their stolen son? Finally, I just typed it. My name is Nathan Reeves. I think I might be your son, Ethan. I attached the photo of me next to the missing poster. Attached the age-progressed image comparison. Attached the DNA results showing I wasn't related to the Reeves family. Wrote, I don't have all the answers yet, but I need to talk to you. Please. Clicked send before I could change my mind. She responded in 4 minutes. Can you call me? She included her phone number. I stared at it. Trevor nodded at me. Do it. I called. She answered before the first ring finished. Hello? Is this really him? Mrs. Vulkoff? Yes. Yes, this is Nadia. Are you? I stopped. Didn't know how to finish that sentence. Are you my son? Are you my Ethan? The question hung between us through the phone line. Two strangers connected by a possibility too horrible and too hopeful to fully believe. I don't know, but I think maybe I am. She started crying. Deep sobs that broke something in my chest. I started crying too. Couldn't help it. We talked for 3 hours. She told me everything about Ethan, his personality. He was shy but funny once he warmed up. Loved dinosaurs and space and building things with Legos. Hated loud noises and crowds. Had to sleep with a nightlight shaped like a rocket ship. Some of it resonated, some didn't. Memory is unreliable, especially childhood memory, especially when you've been told a different story your whole life. She told me about the day he disappeared. Every detail burned into her brain. July 23rd, 2011. Saturday afternoon. Beautiful weather. Ethan wanted to play outside. She'd set up his sandbox and toy trucks, gave him juice and crackers, checked on him constantly through the kitchen window. At 1:15, she looked out and saw him digging in the sand. Red shirt, khaki shorts, light-up sneakers. At 1:20, she glanced again, and he was gone. Just gone. She ran outside screaming his name, checked the gate, still latched. Fence was intact. No way he climbed out. No way he left on his own. Someone took him. Someone grabbed her baby and vanished. Police came within minutes. Neighbors helped search. Officers interviewed everyone on the block. No one saw anything. No one heard anything. No vehicles drove away. No strangers reported in the area. Ethan Vulkoff simply ceased to exist at 1:20 p.m. on July 23, 2011. Nadia's voice broke as she described the investigation. The suspicion. Police treated them like criminals at first, interrogated them separately, searched their house, analyzed their phones and computers, looking for evidence of parental involvement. She understood why. Statistics show most missing children are taken by family members, but it hurt. It hurt to lose her son and then be treated like a monster. They were cleared within 2 days. Solid alibis, no motive, no history of abuse, just grieving parents desperate to find their child. FBI took over, brought in specialists, behavioral analysts, cadaver dogs, ground-penetrating radar, checked every registered sex offender within 50 miles, interviewed hundreds of people, generated thousands of leads, all dead ends. The case went cold, officially unsolved, unofficially forgotten by everyone except the Vulkoffs. Nadia asked me questions, her voice shaking, hopeful and terrified. Do you remember anything from before you were 8? Flashes. A blue house, a backyard, a dog. But I don't know if those are real memories or just things I was told. Do you have a birthmark? Yes. Above my left eyebrow, small. Brown. Ethan had the same one. Exact same spot. Do you have a scar on your chin? Yes. Left side. From falling off a bike. Ethan got that scar when he was 6. Fell off his bike in the driveway. Needed 3 stitches. Every answer matched. Every detail aligned. But was that proof or coincidence? How many kids have birthmarks and bike scars? Nadia wanted to meet, needed to see me in person, needed to look in my eyes and know if I was really her son. I agreed. We planned for Saturday, 3 days away. I'd drive to Ann Arbor, meet at a coffee shop near their house. Neutral ground, public place, safe for both of us. I hung up feeling dizzy, unmoored. Trevor was still there, brought me water, made me eat something. You did the right thing. What if I'm wrong? What if I destroy her all over again? What if you're right? What if you give her back her son? I didn't sleep that night, or the next. Just lay in bed staring at the ceiling, running through scenarios. By Friday morning, I looked like death. Pale, dark circles, shaking from exhaustion and stress. Trevor practically forced me to eat breakfast. You need your strength, need to be functional. What if she takes one look at me and knows I'm not Ethan? What if she rejects me? Then you have your answer. Then you know. Better than this limbo. He was right. Any answer was better than this. I drove up Friday night. 3-hour drive. Rented a cheap motel room near Ann Arbor. Didn't sleep. Just lay there watching bad TV and checking the clock. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Morning took forever to arrive. Saturday morning I showered, put on clean clothes, tried to look presentable, normal, whatever that meant. Arrived at the coffee shop 45 minutes early, parked, watched people go in and out, wondered which ones were the Vulkoffs. A couple walked up at exactly 10 a.m., man and woman, late 40s. The woman had Nadia's profile photo face, older, tired, but unmistakably her. The man was tall, going bald. Sergey. They stood outside looking around, nervous energy radiating off them. I got out of my car, my legs barely worked, walked toward them across the parking lot. Nadia saw me first. Her hand went to her mouth, her knees buckled. Sergey caught her arm. They both stared. I stopped 10 feet away, didn't know what to do, what to say. Hi, I'm Nathan. Nadia rushed forward, grabbed my face with both hands, studied every inch, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her hands were shaking. Ethan? Oh my God. Ethan, it's you. I didn't know if it was me. Didn't know anything anymore. But looking at her face, at Sergey's face, something deep inside me recognized them. Something older than conscious memory. We went inside, found a corner table away from other people. Nadia couldn't stop touching me, my hand, my arm, my shoulder, like she needed physical proof I was real, that I wouldn't disappear again. Sergey was more reserved, more cautious, keeping his distance, but his eyes never left my face, studying, analyzing, looking for proof. They asked questions. I answered what I could, explained about finding the poster, the DNA test, the photos my parents sent that didn't prove anything. Nadia pulled out her phone, showed me photos of Ethan, baby photos, toddler photos. The similarities were undeniable. Same face shape, same eyes, same everything, just younger. But similarity isn't proof. Genetics is proof. Sergey finally spoke. His voice was measured, controlled. We need a proper DNA test. Official one from an accredited laboratory. Not a home kit. Lab test with chain of custody. I understand. I want that too. Good. We found a facility nearby. Walked there together. 10-minute walk. Nobody talked. Just walked in tense silence. The lab was sterile. Clinical. We explained the situation to the technician. Possible family reunification case. Missing child. She'd seen cases like this before. Took samples from all three of us. Buccal swabs from me and Nadia and Sergey. Explained results would take 7 to 10 business days. Standard processing. No expediting available. Sergey insisted on paying. Refused to let me contribute. We walked back to the coffee shop. Sat down again. Talked more. They asked about my childhood. What I remembered. Where I'd lived. My family. The Reeves family. I told them everything. About Michigan. About moving to Ohio when I was 8. About my parents, David and Jennifer. About Ashley, my supposed sister. About growing up in Westfield. School. Friends. Normal suburban childhood. Or what I thought was normal. Nadia and Sergey exchanged looks. What? What is it? Sergey leaned forward. We had a private investigator. First 3 years after Ethan disappeared. He tracked dozens of leads. One was a family that moved from Michigan to Ohio in 2012, right after Ethan vanished. My stomach dropped. The investigator looked into them. David and Jennifer Reeves, no children on record before 2011. Suddenly they had a son in 2012, Nathan, born supposedly in 2001 but no hospital records from that year, no birth announcement, no pediatric records before age 8. The PI suspected falsified documentation, but without proof, police wouldn't investigate. Why didn't you pursue it harder? We tried, hired lawyers, filed reports with Michigan and Ohio police, but the Reeves had documentation, birth certificate, social security number, medical records from age 8 onward, school enrollment. Everything looked legitimate. Our lawyer said we'd need DNA evidence to prove anything, but we couldn't get a court order for testing without probable cause, and suspicion wasn't enough. So you've been watching me? Watching my family? Nadia shook her head quickly. No, we lost track of you. Lost track of that lead. The PI stopped working the case in 2014. We ran out of money. Couldn't afford to keep paying him. By then, you would have been 10 or 11. We didn't know where you were living, what school you attended. Nothing. Until I contacted you. Yes. Until Thursday when I got your message. I thought it was a cruel prank at first. People do that sometimes. Claim to be Ethan for attention or money. But then I saw your photo. Saw your face. And I knew. I felt violated. Angry. But also strangely relieved. They'd tried. They'd fought. They just hadn't won. We talked until the coffee shop closed at 6 p.m. 8 hours. They told me everything about Ethan. About themselves. Sergey owned a small construction company. Nadia worked as a nurse at the local hospital. They'd tried for years to have a baby. 3 miscarriages before Ethan. He was their miracle. Their everything. And then he was gone. We exchanged numbers. Made plans to stay in touch while waiting for results. They offered to let me stay at their house. They had Ethan's room, preserved exactly as he left it. I declined. Too much. Too fast. Too overwhelming. Drove back to my motel. Trevor called. How'd it go? I think they're my real parents. I think I'm Ethan Vulkoff. Holy shit. What are you gonna do? Wait for the DNA results. Then decide. And your parents? The Reeves? I don't know. I don't know what to do about them. That week was torture. Waiting. Not knowing. I went back to work. Tried to act normal. My manager pulled me aside Wednesday. You okay, Nathan? You've been off lately. Sick a lot. Family stuff. I'm dealing with it. Need time off? Maybe after next week. Once I know. Know what? If my whole life is a lie. I didn't say that part. Just shook my head. I'm fine. I'll be fine. He didn't push. Thursday afternoon, Ashley called. Haven't heard from you in a while. Everything okay? I need to ask you something. Okay? How long have you known I'm not really your brother? Silence. Long silence. Then, what are you talking about? Don't lie to me, Ashley. I did a DNA test. I'm not related to Mom and Dad. How long have you known? She started crying. Since I was 16. I overheard them fighting. Late at night. Thought I was asleep. They were arguing about you. About what they'd done. About whether to tell you. So you've known for 7 years. 7 years, and you said nothing. I was scared, Nathan. I didn't know what to do. I was just a kid when I found out. You're not a kid anymore. I know, and I'm so sorry. I should have told you, should have done something. But they made me promise. Made me swear to never tell anyone. Made you complicit. She sobbed harder. Who am I, Ashley? Who am I really? Your name was Ethan. Ethan Volkov. Mom and Dad took you from Michigan. I don't know all the details, just bits I overheard. They've been running from it ever since. Why? Why would they do that? I don't know. They never explained when I confronted them about it. Just made me promise to protect you. Protect the family secret. By lying to me my entire life? I thought I was helping. Thought I was keeping you safe. From what? From the truth? The truth that I'm not Nathan Reeves? That I'm someone else entirely? She couldn't answer. Just cried. I hung up. Drove straight to my parents' house. Wasn't planning to. Rage carried me there. Betrayal and fury and 15 years of stolen identity. My mom answered the door. Surprised, but happy. Hi, sweetie. Didn't know you were. Where's Dad? Inside. Why? Nathan, what's wrong? Stop calling me that. Her expression changed. Became guarded. Became something else. Something calculating. What are you talking about? My name is Ethan. Ethan Volkoff. And you fucking stole me. She tried to close the door. I pushed through. Shoulder against wood. My dad appeared from the living room. What's going on? Jennifer, your son figured it out. I'm not your son. I'm not your anything. My dad's face crumbled. Nathan, please. You don't understand. Ethan. My name is Ethan. My mom was backing away, moving toward the kitchen. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to leave. I'm not leaving until you tell me the truth. Tell me why you kidnapped me. Tell me why you destroyed my real family. We saved you. My dad's voice was desperate, pleading. We saved you from them. From who? The Vulkoffs? They were hurting you. We saw the bruises, the fear in your eyes. We couldn't just leave you there. Bullshit. Complete bullshit. I've met them. They've been searching for me for 12 years. They're liars. My mom's voice turned sharp, cold. They're criminals. Your father, Sergei, was abusive. Your mother, Nadia, enabled it. We called CPS multiple times. Nothing happened. So we took matters into our own hands. Prove it. Show me the CPS reports. Show me evidence of abuse. Show me anything that justifies what you did. They couldn't. Had nothing. Just words. Just a story they'd rehearsed for 12 years. I pulled out my phone, started dialing 911. My dad lunged forward, tried to grab it. We struggled. He was stronger, but I was younger. Faster. My mom screamed. Grabbed at me. The call connected. 911, what's your emergency? I need to report a kidnapping. My name is Ethan Vulkoff. I was abducted in July 2011 from Ann Arbor, Michigan. The people who took me are here right now. Police arrived in 8 minutes. I stayed on the line with the dispatcher the whole time. My parents sat on the couch, defeated, not fighting anymore, just sitting there. My mom was crying. My dad stared at nothing. Officers took statements, called their supervisor, called detectives. This escalated fast. They arrested David and Jennifer Reeves that night, read them their rights, handcuffed them, led them to separate patrol cars, still insisting they'd saved me, still claiming the Vulkoffs were dangerous. Ashley showed up 20 minutes later, hysterical, begging me to stop, to drop everything, to let them go. I refused, told officers everything, about finding the poster, the DNA test, contacting the Vulkoffs, planning to get official results. Ashley screamed at me, called me ungrateful, called me a traitor. Officers had to restrain her. Eventually, she left, drove away crying. I gave my statement. Took hours. Detectives arrived. More questions, more details. They confiscated computers, documents, photo albums, everything. Building a case. DNA results from my test with the Vulkoffs came back 5 days later. Wednesday morning, email notification. I was at the police station giving another statement. Opened it on my phone. Detective Morris watched. 99.98% probability of paternity between subject A, Nathan Reeves, and subject B, Sergei Vulkoff. 99.97% probability of maternity between subject A, Nathan Reeves, and subject C, Nadia Vulkoff. Scientific certainty. I was Ethan Vulkoff, had always been Ethan. Nathan Reeves never existed except on paper. Was just a character in a story my kidnappers created. I showed Detective Morris. He nodded. Made calls. This became federal. FBI got involved. Kidnapping across state lines. The Vulkoffs flew to Ohio that afternoon. Met me at the FBI field office. Nadia couldn't stop hugging me, squeezing me tight, sobbing into my shoulder. Sergei kept apologizing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry we didn't find you sooner. I tried. We tried so hard. I know. I believe you. The FBI had questions. So many questions. I told them everything I remembered. Everything the Reeves had said. Their claims about abuse. Their justification. Investigators checked Michigan records. No CPS reports filed about the Vulkoff family. Ever. No hospital visits for suspicious injuries. No complaints from teachers or neighbors. Nothing. Just a fabrication. A lie to justify kidnapping. David and Jennifer Reeves had watched Ethan Vulkoff playing in his backyard one day. Decided he needed saving based on nothing. Waited until Nadia went inside. Grabbed him. Covered his mouth. Threw him in their car. Drove away. Simple as that. They'd spent months preparing documentation. Fake birth certificate listing Nathan Reeves, born March 2001. Fake medical records created through a contact who worked at a clinic. Fake school enrollment forged. Then they moved states. Michigan to Ohio. Started over. Became a normal family with their son Nathan. For 12 years I believed them. Believed every word, every story, every manufactured memory. But it was all smoke. Ashley was arrested Friday. Charged as an accessory after the fact. She'd known for 7 years. That was enough. Conspiracy to conceal a kidnapping. She got a lawyer. Tried to claim she was protecting family. That she'd been manipulated. Prosecution wasn't buying it. She was 16 when she found out. Had 7 years to report it. To do the right thing. She chose silence. Chose complicity. The Reeves went to trial 9 months later. Federal charges. Kidnapping. Custodial interference. Falsifying government documents. Their defense team tried everything. Argued temporary insanity. Claimed they genuinely believed Ethan was being abused. Brought in experts about savior complexes. None of it worked. Prosecution had documentation. Had my testimony. Had the Vulkoffs' testimony. Had Ashley's reluctant testimony after she took a plea deal. Had investigators who'd found no evidence of abuse. Had FBI analysts who'd tracked the Reeves movements in July 2011. Cell phone records placing them in Ann Arbor the day Ethan disappeared. Security footage from a gas station showing their car heading toward the Vulkoff neighborhood. Circumstantial but damning. The jury took 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was 3 months later. I gave a victim impact statement. 15 minutes. Talked about stolen identity, stolen childhood, stolen family. The Vulkoffs spoke too. Nadia described 12 years of searching, hoping, dying inside. Sergei talked about the guilt, the failure to protect his son, the helplessness. Judge Patricia Wolf listened to everything, then spoke for 20 minutes about the severity of the crime, the calculated nature, the sustained deception, the psychological damage. She sentenced David Reeves to 25 years federal prison, Jennifer Reeves to 23 years, no parole eligibility for 15 years. Ashley got 3 years probation, community service, mandatory therapy, had to testify at parole hearings. The Reeves showed no remorse at sentencing, still believed they'd done the right thing, still believed their own delusion. Moving to Ann Arbor felt surreal. The Vulkoffs insisted I stay with them while figuring things out. They'd kept Ethan's room exactly the same. Dinosaur bedspread, Lego sets, posters of planets, a time capsule from 2011. I couldn't sleep there. Too much. Too painful. Felt like wearing someone else's skin. They converted the guest room instead. Let me decorate it myself. Make it mine. Therapy started immediately. Trauma specialist, Dr. Rashida Chen, worked with kidnapping victims and identity trauma. Twice a week at first. She explained what I was experiencing. Dissociative identity confusion. My sense of self had fractured. Nathan wasn't real, but felt real, because I'd lived as him. Ethan was real, but felt foreign, because I didn't remember being him. I existed in the space between, neither and both. Learning to be Ethan again was impossible. That 7-year-old was gone. Dead. Couldn't resurrect him. I was something new now. Something forged from trauma and lies. Had to build an identity from scratch. Choose who to become. Nadia struggled with this. Wanted her baby back. Wanted the Ethan she lost. But I wasn't him. Couldn't be him. That person died the day David and Jennifer took him. She went to therapy too. Grief counseling. Learning to accept that I wasn't the son she lost. Was someone different. Someone shaped by 15 years of false identity. Could still be her son, but not the same son. Sergei handled it better. More pragmatic. Focused on present rather than past. Taught me about his construction business. Brought me to job sites. Showed me how to read blueprints. Gave me purpose while I figured out who I was. Extended family was complicated. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. All remembered Ethan as a 7-year-old. All expected that person back. All looked at me like a ghost. Like an imposter. Some adjusted. Accepted that I was different. Others couldn't. Stopped coming around. Too painful. Too strange. Trevor visited once. Drove up from Ohio. Stayed the weekend. It was awkward. He'd known Nathan. This person I was becoming wasn't Nathan. We tried to maintain friendship, but it felt forced. Artificial. Eventually, we drifted apart. Texted occasionally. Then stopped. That hurt more than I expected. 6 months after moving, I legally changed my name. Not back to Ethan Vulkoff. That felt wrong. Didn't fit anymore. Chose something new. Something that belonged only to me. Liam Vulkoff. Liam meaning strong-willed warrior. Felt appropriate. Nadia cried when I told her. Sergei nodded and said it was my choice. My identity. They'd support whatever I decided. The Facebook group that had searched for Ethan celebrated. Hundreds of messages, comments, shares. They'd followed the case, the trial, the resolution. Now they celebrated the reunion. But also mourned. Mourned the boy who didn't come back. Who couldn't come back. Started college that fall. Community college. Wasn't ready for university. Took general classes. Psychology. Sociology. Criminal justice. Trying to understand what happened. Why people like the Reeves existed. How systems failed. Professors knew my story. Some treated me like I was fragile. Others treated me normal. I preferred normal. Made friends, slowly, carefully. Told them I was Liam. Didn't explain the rest unless necessary. Most people didn't push. Met a girl in psychology class, Maya Okoye. She knew who I was. Recognized me from news coverage. Didn't care. Treated me like a person instead of a tragedy. We studied together. Got coffee. Talked about everything except my past. Eventually, I told her everything. She listened without judgment. Said my past didn't define me. I could choose who to become. We dated for a while. It didn't last. I wasn't ready for intimacy, for trust, for vulnerability. We stayed friends, though. That meant something. The Reeves sent letters from prison. David wrote monthly. Long letters explaining his reasoning. Still insisting he'd saved me. Still believing his delusions. I never responded. Threw them away, unread after the first few. Jennifer wrote less often. Her letters were different. Apologetic. Regretful. Claimed she'd been manipulated by David. That she'd tried to stop him. Lies. Investigators proved she'd been equally involved. Had researched how to falsify documents. Had practiced forging signatures. Had scouted the Vulkoff house. She was rewriting history. I threw those letters away too. Ashley reached out after her probation ended. Wanted to apologize. Wanted forgiveness. Wanted a relationship. I wasn't ready. Told her maybe someday. She accepted that, sent occasional texts, updates about her life. I rarely responded. Some betrayals cut too deep. Some wounds stay open. 5 years passed. I was 28, graduated from community college, transferred to university, got a degree in social work, wanted to help families, wanted to prevent what happened to me from happening to others. The Vulkoffs were proud. Came to graduation. Nadia cried through the whole ceremony. Sergei smiled more than I'd ever seen. Extended family came too. The ones who'd stuck around, who'd adjusted, who'd accepted that I wasn't Ethan but was still family. Got a job at a non-profit helping families navigate child welfare systems. Worked with CPS cases. Advocated for better tracking, better intervention, better protection. Used my experience, my story, my pain. Turned it into purpose. Media coverage continued sporadically. Anniversary pieces. Updates on the case. Where is Ethan now type stories. I usually declined interviews. My story belonged to me, not to entertainment. But occasionally, I agreed. If it helped other families, if it raised awareness, if it prevented other kidnappings, then it was worth the exposure. David died in prison year 6. Heart attack. Sudden. Paramedics couldn't save him. Jennifer called me from prison. Wanted me to know. Wanted me at the funeral. I declined. He wasn't my father. Wasn't anything to me. She cried on the phone. Begged me to forgive him. To forgive her. I hung up. Some people don't deserve forgiveness. Some crimes are unforgivable. Jennifer was released after 15 years. Came to Ann Arbor. Wanted to see me. Nadia called furious. Wanted to file a restraining order. I said no. Let her come. Let her say whatever she needed to say. We met at a coffee shop. Public place. Safe. She looked old. Worn. Prison had aged her decades. She apologized. Cried. Begged for forgiveness. Explained how David had convinced her I was being abused. How she'd believed him. How she'd convinced herself they were heroes. I listened without speaking. When she finished, I said one thing. You stole 15 years of my life. You destroyed 2 families. You don't get forgiveness. You get to live with what you did. She left crying. I never saw her again. Heard she moved to Florida. Lived quietly. Worked retail. Died 3 years later. Cancer. Lonely. Ashley invited me to her wedding year 12. I went. Met her fiancé. Decent guy. She'd built a life. Had dealt with her guilt through therapy. Through amends. Through accepting she'd failed me. We talked briefly. Cordially. Not close, but not hostile. She was my sister in some weird way. Not blood, not really, but connected through shared trauma. Started a foundation year 13, the Liam Volkoff Foundation for Missing Children. Focused on improving Amber Alert systems, training law enforcement, supporting families. Funded through speaking fees and donations. The Volkoffs helped run it. Nadia on the board. Sergei handling finances. We helped dozens of families. Reunited 3 missing children with parents. Created protocols that prevented 2 attempted abductions. Small victories, but meaningful. Met someone year 14. James Park, therapist, worked with trauma survivors. We met at a conference, bonded over shared understanding of pain, dated slowly, carefully. I was terrified of trust, of intimacy, of letting someone in. He was patient, understanding, didn't push, didn't demand, just waited. We moved in together, year 15, small apartment near the university, built a life, adopted a dog, named him Rocket after Ethan's nightlight. Stupid sentimentality, but it felt right. Nadia loved it. The nightmares never fully stopped. Dreams of being taken, of searching for myself, of existing in 2 places at once. Therapy helped, medication helped, time helped. But healing isn't linear. Some days were good, some days I could barely function. James understood, held me through the bad days, celebrated the good ones. The foundation grew. We hired staff, expanded programs, lobbied for legislative changes, better tracking of missing children, harsher penalties for family abduction, more resources for reunification. Some laws passed, some didn't. But progress was progress. Gave a TED Talk, year 16, about identity and trauma and choosing who you become. It went viral. Millions of views, thousands of messages from people who related, who'd experienced identity trauma, who'd been lied to by family, who'd discovered their lives were built on deception. I responded to as many as I could. Connected people with resources, with therapists, with support groups, community built from shared pain. The Volkovs aged. Sergei had a health scare year 17, heart surgery, survived, but it scared us all. Made me realize time was limited. Started recording their stories, their memories of Ethan, of the search, of everything, preserving it before it was lost. Nadia's memory started slipping year 19. Early dementia. She'd forget conversations, repeat stories. Sometimes she'd call me Ethan, sometimes Nathan, sometimes Liam. I answered to all of them. Didn't correct her. Let her have whatever reality was easiest. Sergei handled it with grace. Cared for her. Loved her through the decline. I helped as much as I could. Moved back to their house year 20. They needed support. I could work remotely. James came with me. We converted the garage into an office. Kept the foundation running while caring for Nadia. She died year 22. Peacefully. In her sleep. Surrounded by family. I was holding her hand. She woke briefly, looked at me, smiled, said, "I'm so glad we found you," closed her eyes. Gone. The funeral was huge. Hundreds of people. Friends, family, people from the search, people from the foundation, people whose lives she'd touched. Everyone mourned. Everyone celebrated her life, her fight, her love. Sergei declined fast after that. Lost his purpose, his partner, his reason. Died 6 months later, same way, peacefully, in his sleep. His last words to me were, "Take care of yourself, Liam. Make your life mean something." I did. I tried. Ashley came to both funerals. We talked more. Built something resembling a relationship. Not siblings exactly, but connected. Bound by shared history, even if that history was lies. She'd built a good life. Had 2 kids. Worked as a teacher. Had dealt with her guilt. Had grown. I respected that. Forgave that maybe. The foundation continued. I ran it full time now. Expanded internationally. Worked with Interpol. With global databases. With families worldwide. We'd helped reunite over 100 missing children with families. Small number compared to those still missing. But each one mattered. Each one was someone's Ethan. Wrote a book, year 25. Memoir. Stolen, growing up as someone else. Published to critical acclaim. Bestseller list. More speaking engagements, more interviews, more exposure. Used the platform, used the attention. Pushed for change, for better systems, for protection. Some days I still don't know who I am. Not Nathan, not Ethan, not fully Liam either. Somewhere in between. A person built from fragments and choices. From trauma and healing. From lies and truth. But I'm okay with that. Okay with being undefined. Okay with becoming instead of being. James proposed, year 26. Simple proposal. At home, just us. Said he loved all versions of me. Nathan, Ethan, Liam, whoever I was becoming. Said yes. Married year 27. Small ceremony. Close friends. Ashley was there. Maya. People from the foundation. People who'd known me through all the changes. All the identities. It was perfect. The nightmares are less frequent now. The therapy less urgent. The pain less sharp. I've built a life. Not the life Nathan would have had. Not the life Ethan should have had. But mine. Built on my terms. My choices. My truth. The foundation is my legacy. Helping others. Preventing more stolen childhoods. Creating systems that protect instead of fail. That matters. That means something. I visit the Vulkoffs' graves every month. Tell them about my life. The foundation. The families we've helped. The changes we've made. Thank them for never giving up. For searching. For fighting. For loving a son they didn't remember but never forgot. Some people ask if I'm angry. If I hate the Reeves. Truth is, I don't feel much about them anymore. Anger faded. Hate faded. Left indifference. They were sick people who made terrible choices. Who destroyed lives. Who died alone and unmourned. That's punishment enough. Ashley texts regularly now. Sends pictures of her kids. My nieces, technically. Though nothing about family is technical anymore. Everything is chosen. Built. Created from intention instead of blood. I choose to have a relationship with her. Choose to be Uncle Liam to her daughters. Choice is everything. The missing poster that started everything hangs in my office. Framed. A reminder. Ethan Vulkoff. Missing since 2011. Found 2023. Different person now, but found. That's what matters. Not who I was, not who I should have been, who I chose to become. And I'm still choosing, still becoming, still building. Every day a choice, every moment an opportunity. To help someone, to make change, to live authentically. That's enough. Has to be enough.